C6H12O6. That's not a random assortment of letters and numbers. That's the molecular formula for glucose, the body's primary energy source. Every cell in the body needs glucose to function. We acquire glucose through the foods that we eat, mostly carbohydrates. To travel from food to our body cells, glucose has to move through the bloodstream. We're able to measure the amount of glucose traveling at any given time. We call it our blood glucose levels or our blood sugar levels. Your blood glucose levels fluctuate throughout the day, but they should always be within a specific range.
The usual blood sugar before eating breakfast in the morning is somewhere between 70 and 110. It's considered to be normal. And then after meals, anywhere from about 140 to 160 or 170, 2 hours after a meal. Anything more than that would be diagnostic of a diabetic condition of some kind, depending upon how high those numbers go.
It's extremely important for blood glucose levels to fall within that normal range. Without the right amount of glucose, the body can't perform its normal functions. It's rare for blood sugar levels to deviate from normal in the average healthy person. Something else would have to be going on. Abnormal glucose levels can arise from an illness, extreme physical stress, or as a side effect of a medication. The most common cause of abnormal glucose levels is a condition called diabetes. The blood sugar levels in a diabetic can fall or rise to dangerous levels if they're not monitored. Over time, untreated or poorly managed glucose levels can lead to complications.
Typically, vascular problems where you can get strokes and heart attacks and things like that. Neuropathy, neurologic problems where you wind up with numbness in the legs, pain in the legs, and all, which can be a very dangerous thing. Kidney problems, probably the most important factor. The higher the blood sugars over a longer period of time, the more likely you are to damage your kidneys. So you want to really keep that down. And the fourth thing are the eyes, the retinopathy that can develop, again, because the blood sugars are too high. So you want to keep the blood sugars as close to normal as possible. But, and again, this is the big but, as you get older, yes, it's okay to do it, but within reason. And again, since it takes 15, 20, 25 years of having these high blood sugars to cause the complications that I mentioned.
Any glucose level that's higher than normal is considered unhealthy. It's possible to have sugar levels that are higher than normal without being as high as a diabetic. We call this condition prediabetes. An estimated 86 million Americans have prediabetes. If they don't make three important lifestyle changes, 15 to 30% of people with prediabetes will develop type 2 diabetes within 5 years.
The initial treatment is diet, weight loss, and exercise. And that's the standard. So if you see somebody for the first time and their blood sugars are moderately elevated and you've made a diagnosis of diabetes, obviously that's really where you want to go. So you want to get them into some kind of a program where they can speak maybe to a nutritionist, can speak to a diabetes educator, find out how they can best control their diet, how they can best exercise to the abilities that they are able to, and to get the weight down.
We recommend eating 3 meals a day with a small snack at some point. Eating at the same time also helps the body maintain steady blood sugar levels throughout the day. Skipping breakfast or loading all of your calories into a single large meal can affect the body's insulin production, even if you are not a diabetic.
A normal person will produce insulin to compensate for what they're eating. But if you're doing it that way, as you produce more insulin, once you stop eating, your blood sugar drops and you're going to start feeling hungry again, and that's when people start snacking, because that's there. So it becomes a difficult problem, because in and of itself, that may itself lead to obesity. You have to, and that's why you have to be very careful with it. So that's why we recommend, even without diabetes, that people really try and spread their food out. Don't tax the body. Don't force yourself to produce insulin above what you need to, because it can have serious effects on, and mainly on obesity. And I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing it today as much as we do.
1 in 4 people with diabetes doesn't know he or she has it, and diabetes is on the rise. An estimated 29 million people have diabetes, plus the 86 million with prediabetes. That's a lot of people with elevated blood sugars. If you're not sure what your blood sugar levels are, talk to your doctor. In the meantime, a healthy diet and moderate exercise can go a long way toward better health for everyone. I'm Dr. Mike Rosen, and you're watching the eHealth Network. Stay healthy.